Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Zulilix and welcome to another Multiversus video. In today's video, we're going to be doing another character wish list. As you can see right here, y'all voted for it, so we're going to do another one. This time it's going to be my top 10 video game characters that I want to see in Multiversus. But before we get into the countdown, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all your Multiversus news, gameplay, and leaks. Also, don't forget to check the description down below for a link to our community Discord server where we're talking about the game, grouping up for game nights, and getting ready for guilds. Now let's begin. Now, as some ground rules for this list, I decided to make this with any third-party video game characters that I wanted to be put in. So basically, no gaming characters from games or franchises owned by WB, which means you're not going to see any Mortal Kombat characters on this list. Now, I did this because I want this to be more of a crossover video, and I'm a huge MK fanboy and could easily do a top 10 MK characters wish list, just on its own, as its own separate video. So make sure you subscribe to check that video out later down the road, because after sitting on the idea for a little bit, that's probably going to be the next wishlist video. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to check that out, and let's get to number 10. Starting at the big number 10, we got Shell from the Portal series. Now, I want her in Multiversus purely because I think she would be one of the best setup style movesets ever. She'd be a really good setup character. You could use her portals to set up different attacks, and you could have companion cubes or the turrets, or maybe the jump springs and stuff like that, or different traps that are in the Portal games as moves. I think it would be a really good line of zoning that opponents would have to work pretty hard to get around, or maybe tone it down so there's not as many projectile characters in the game. But you could also give her some momentum based attacks, similar to how some of the puzzles in the Portal games work. If you've played Portal before, there's several puzzles where you kind of have to put both your portals down and just go up and down through them to gain speed, and then you shoot one off and you launch yourself out really fast. I think that would be cool to have a move that works in that similar way, where you get really going fast, and then you just go in for one big swing that deals damage the faster she's moving. There's just so much stuff you could do with her moveset and all the weird items and stuff that Portal has, and I think she could be one of the coolest characters if she's made right, which I trust players first to just knock it out of the park, because so far their track record is 10 out of 10. They've knocked every character out. So I think if they could find a cool way to do it, Shell would be a really interesting character to see in Multiversus. Coming in at number 9, we have Super Meat Boy. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that remembers how good of a game Super Meat Boy was. It's solid, and it still holds up to this day. And I think he would make a great fighter for Multiversus. I can definitely see him as a bruiser class character, kind of playing how Mario does from Smash. Just good overall gameplay and good combos with some limited projectiles. Maybe even a special ring out animation where meat just explodes everywhere when he's knocked off screen. And maybe his projectiles could be saws or other traps or stage hazards from Super Meat Boy. I think that'd be a really cool way to incorporate more elements from the game into his moveset. Other than that, I really don't have much in terms of a moveset in mind, but I think he could be just an amazing character, and I would definitely be happy to see him in the game. Now, I know this one has to be a fan favorite for many. At number 8, we got a Big Daddy from BioShock. I really see platform fighters and crossover games like this to be a celebration of gaming, to celebrate all the coolest and best characters from the history of gaming. So we definitely need a rep from one of the best video games of all time, BioShock. And his moveset could be insane. You can use the drill as a jab string combo and have his side ground special be a devastating drill charge attack. You could also have maybe a little sister on his back Ferritor style that can throw needle projectiles or something like that. And there are so many different styles of Big Daddy that there would be so many cool skins and different weapons that could be added to his moveset. But with that being said, I would definitely want them to keep it simple and mainly use the Big Daddy, the first Big Daddy, the one that everybody knows, the iconic Big Daddy, and keep his moveset simple with little sisters, drills, and some weapons and stuff like that. But the possibilities are limitless, and this would truly be one of the greatest characters that could be added into Multiversus. For number 7, we have arguably one of the best / well-known gaming icons from years past, Spyro the Dragon. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I remember nearly every level from the Spyro games on the PlayStation 2. I loved those games as a kid, and I remember Spyro just being a fun and great character, and I think he would fit in perfectly with the Looney Tunes characters and Cartoon Network characters already in Multiversus. Plus, his moveset could be really nice and easy to make, give him, a horn charge, fireball move, a jab string using his head, and tail swipes and stuff, and let him glide. He has to be able to glide at least. I think he'd be just a nice, simple character that everyone could pick up and enjoy playing. Plus, it would be a legendary collab for people that grew up with the series, or even newer players that have played the recent remakes and remasters of the Spyro games. He would just be an amazing character to be added in, and I don't see why not. we got another classic gaming icon for number 6 with Crash Bandicoot. Once again, this is just a classic character that I have no idea how they haven't already been in a platform fighter. But here we are, and he needs to be in Multiversus. His moveset would be pretty simple too. Make him either a bruiser or an assassin, probably a bruiser, and, give him his tornado, use the Aku Aku mask, and even the Wampa fruit for something, This would just be one of those legendary crossovers that needs to happen. I already know the amount of hype this would generate would just be off the scales. Like, he's a classic character, his moves would fit a platform fighter perfectly, and it would be hype as hell. So it needs to happen. Coming in number 5, we have Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. Now, Dead Space was my go-to horror franchise for the longest time, but much like Terminator, RoboCop, and Predator, I refuse to acknowledge any games or anything after the first 2 projects, so we're gonna pretend like EA didn't just nosedive the series. Anyways, it was an amazing blend of sci-fi and horror that I feel hasn't been matched in so long. And at its center was Isaac Clarke, one of the best horror game protagonists in my opinion. His moveset will be pretty interesting as well. I feel like you could definitely make him a mage with some decent melee attacks, or maybe a bruiser with some decent zoning. I definitely think he needs to have some up close attacks and some zoning with, his weapons. He has to use his plasma cutter for sure, and the curb stomp. There's no way you can make his moveset without those iconic moves that just have to be in. But you could also have him using Stasis move to apply slow to an opponent or a projectile or something. It would be so cool if Bugs is shooting his rocket at you and you can just stasis it and slow it down. Make sure you have enough time to get out of the way. Or maybe it could save a teammate or something like that. And think about the skins. You could have literally any of his suits as a skin and it would look fantastic. So for me, he should definitely be in the game, and I think they could just kill with his moveset. Coming in at number 4, we got Doom Guy. Like I said earlier, I feel like platform fighters are a celebration of gaming, so we need the character that pioneered the FPS genre and put it and gaming into the mainstream. We need Doom Guy. His moveset would be nutty. You have so many weapons you could use, like the super shotgun, the chainsaw, the BFG, but also he could have a berserker mode where he just goes crazy with melee attacks. I would love to see the screen turn red, Doom Guy just goes crazy, just starts beating the shit out of Batman. That's awesome. I need to see that happen. Just thinking about the possibilities is a little overwhelming. This character just has so many tools and weapons and a history that they could really have the character and make it feel perfect for Multiversus and just stay true to the character at the same time. It would be fantastic, incredible. Doom Guy for Multiversus. If there's not a Twitter account already, because there's a Twitter account for everybody to get in Multiversus. If there isn't one, I'm going to make one, because Doom Guy needs his time to shine on the platform fighter stage. Now, we are in the top 3. So all of these picks are going to be some of my favorite characters across gaming. And for me, Solaire from Dark Souls is a top tier character. I think he would be insanely fun to play, and I have some good ideas for his moveset. For starters, his ground up attack has to, and let me repeat that, it has to be the Praise the Sun emote. Just have him bend over and bend up and praise the sun and let that hit opponents. For his jabs and some of his ground side attacks, he could use his Sunlight Straight Sword, and as a side special, he can use Sunlight Spear as a projectile. Maybe for a neutral special, he could use Wrath of the Gods or another miracle from the Dark Souls series. As a huge Soulsborne fan, I need Solaire in this game. I think he'd be really fun and nobody would see him coming. He would be a top tier surprise character. Could you imagine if they just dropped the trailer Solaire is in Multiversus? Everyone would be hype. And especially with From Software and the Soulsborne games getting a lot of attention with Elden Ring releasing this past year, the hype would be insane. So yeah, just good character, I think. His moveset could be really interesting. There will definitely be hype around the character. Solaire, number 3, needs to be in Multiversus. For number 2, taking the silver medal, we got Ezio from Assassin's Creed. Now, say what you want about the new era of Assassin's Creed games, which, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of. You can't deny that Assassin's Creed 2, The Revelations, was top-tier gaming hours. And I mean just incredible worlds, gameplay, and story, and at the center of all of that is Ezio. He is one of gaming's most iconic and well-written characters. I think he deserves to be in a game like Multiversus, a game that celebrates pop culture and just a celebration of gaming. And I mean, his moveset would be pretty cool and easy to make. Make him an assassin, because I mean, what else would he be? It kind of has to be an assassin. you got to have his Hidden Blade for most of his attacks, but make sure he uses other martial weapons too to give his moveset some variety. For his specials, have him use some consumable gadgets from the AC games, like the Pistol Shot Hidden Blade, Smoke Bombs, Throwing Knives, maybe the Rope Dart, stuff like that I think would make his specials super interesting. Plus, I mean, he was already in a Soul Calibur game, so he's no stranger to being in fighting games. He's going to be recognizable to probably most gamers and definitely some FGC players because, he was in Soul Calibur. So yeah, Ezio I think definitely deserves the spot at number 2, and I think he definitely needs to be in Multiversus. The character I want most in Multiversus, as you can see on screen, is Dante from Devil May Cry. Think just for one moment about his moveset and all the combos they could take from the games and how many weapons his moveset could include to make these combos insane. I'm just gonna give you a moment. I'm just gonna, alright, let you take that in. Think about it for a little bit. Think about it. Alright. These combos could be insane, flashy, and just cool. I mean, you could have him use Rebellion for some of his attacks, or Ebony and Ivory, the Devil Sword, Dr. Faust's hat, the Cavalry Bike. And that's just the weapons from DMC5. I'm not even counting the ones from previous Devil May Cry games. They could pull weapons from all of them just to give his moveset so much variety. And for skins, they could have his outfits from any of the games, of course, or maybe even like an Echo Fighter skin where it's Virgil or Nero. There's just so many possibilities for everything, from his skins to his moves to his voice lines and all that stuff. And everything together makes him one of my most wanted characters for Multiversus. Like, just think about, like, he has to be an assassin and his combo game has to be insane. Like, there are direct combos they could just take from the source material and put them in, and that would be so cool as a fan to see. And even if they wanted to come up with their own stuff, just have like a mechanic where you switch weapons, kind of similar to the game, and like, just, he's a lab monster, like, just heaven of a character, And I think he deserves number 1 spot on this list. I think he deserves to be in Multiversus more than any of the other people on this list. I mean, you could argue for a couple, that's for sure, especially down in the comments, which you should leave a comment down below and let me know. But I don't think anyone's going to disagree that Dante would be really cool to see in Multiversus. And that's going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all down below in the comments. What are your 10 most wanted characters? Did you agree with my list at all? And are you excited for more characters to be added in Season 1? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to the channel for even more amazing Multiversus content. Also, don't forget to check the description down below for a link to our community Discord server where we are talking everything about Multiversus and are getting ready for guilds to drop. I'm Zully Leaks, and I will see you out in the multiverse.